Welcome to the Gospel Truth.
I'm Dean.
And I'm Audrey, and this week we are celebrating the solemnity of Mary, Mother of God.
Yeah, it's the first day of the year, 2023,
Yes.
So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And I believe every New Year's Day we get to have this celebration of Mary.
We do.
Which is such a beautiful celebration, such a great way to kick off the year.
Yeah,
honestly.
it is. I mean, it's all about Mary.
Yeah.
And so I have a very different we have a very different perspective on this now that we're parents.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we're talking about celebrating Mary.
Mhm.
She's not only Jesus's mom, but she's our mom.
Yeah.
And reflecting back on this past, in 2022, becoming a mom was such a life-changing experience for me. And I can't even begin to think about what that must have been like for Mary herself. I mean, if from our perspective, I mean, we planned, when would be the right time for us to have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
We are in our mid-30s, early to mid-30s. And we're very deliberate about when is the right time. And we had the luxury of kind of being able to pick when we felt we could be our best selves for our daughter. And so thinking about what that must have been like for Mary at 14 years old.
Yeah, that's what,
very, very young age.
Yeah.
That must have been so incredibly heavy. And, being a mom is so hard already. Sorry, I'm going to get emotional. Being a mom is so hard already. I can't imagine her being pregnant, first of all, during that time at such a young age, and maybe people are looking at her, talking about her, how she's supposed to find a partner if she's married, she's a virgin, she hasn't lived her life, yet she accepted this opportunity and this invitation from God to do this, and so that's one thing. And then actually having the baby and being a mom at such a young age, it's so hard now for me as a 30-something-year-old mom. I mean, I can't believe she did that.
Yeah.
And she raised the most perfect human, literally. And I mean, it's just such incredible empathy for her now as a mom. And it's so hard, but at the end of the day, it's still so rewarding and so worth the trials and tribulations you go through as a mom and as parents.
Mm-hmm.
And so this year, as I reflect on this feast, it's something that I just see so differently and appreciate so much more.
Yeah, and I think that's really beautiful, right? It sort of shifted our perspective on who Mary was to Jesus. And I think, obviously, Audrey has that firsthand experience because she's the mom, right? I'm never going to be able to have that experience of being a mom. But what I do have is I got to, and I continue to, witness Audrey every single day, being the best mom for Sophia, right? I see it I saw it on the day Sophia was born, right? There's so much beauty in that moment, and there's so much strength and power in that moment. I was and continue to be so proud of Audrey as a mom. I will never forget that, right? That's the power of a mom right there. Right? It's so beautiful. And just to think about how Mary must have felt in that moment, and maybe Joseph must have felt in that moment watching Mary give birth to Jesus, and witnessing that power too, and maybe not even realizing the gravity, you're giving birth to God.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Right? So
wild.
You see that, and I see so much power in Audrey every single day. And then also just this past year, just seeing how Audrey continues to be sort of this rock and foundation for our family. Mm-hmm. Nothing really moves without Audrey. Audrey is the glue, the rock that holds this family together, right? And so it just gives me so much more appreciation for Mary as a mother, because, at the end of the day, even though Jesus is God chose to come to us in human form,
Yeah.
which means there needed to be a mom in the picture.
Yeah.
Right? And so none of this really is possible without Mary.
Yeah.
Right? So in that same way that like in our day-to-day, nothing's possible without mom over here, like our Jesus is not possible without Mary as sort of the vessel to bring him into this world.
That's
And
so true.
yeah, there's just so much more appreciation now that I have for the role of Mary in the church.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, that's why she's our queen.
Yeah, she is the
We
queen.
have a whole month dedicated to her in May.
Yeah.
And we have this beautiful, like, a lot of like Holy Spirit does this beautiful festival for, the coronation and everything. And it's so beautiful. And it's just so very different and so special to us this year as new parents to celebrate Mary.
Yeah,
it's a very good perspective. But yeah, so we hope you all take some time to kind of just really reflect on,
the role of
the
Mary.
role
I
of
think.
Mary
Yeah.
and how none of any of this would have been possible without her.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and God picked her for a reason.
Yeah.
And she was clearly the perfect choice.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, we invite you to reflect and think about that. Yeah.
And
Thank you for those nice words. That's so sweet.
they're all true. Okay, I'm not just saying this is all
Mom,
true.
well, we need Dad too. But thank you.
We need Dad too.
We need Dad too.
Yeah.
We need both parents.
Yeah.
And that's why there's a Feast of St. Joseph.
Yeah.
But that's on for another day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we hope you all have a wonderful new year, a wonderful and prosperous new year, and we'll see you all next week.
All right, everybody.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.